Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 20th of April 2021. In this video, we'll be looking at these couple of issues. Protecting children in the age of artificial intelligence. So this article is a very interesting one with respect to the influence of artificial intelligence on rights, privacy and well-being. So when you're talking about rights, children have rights. So this is recognized under the UN Convention of Rights to Child. When you're talking about privacy, you have the Puttaswamy judgment that came out in 2017, which said that privacy is a fundamental right. And when we're talking about well-being, we are basically talking about the definition of World Health Organization, which says that health is not just physical well-being but also mental well-being. When we're talking about the influence of artificial intelligence, we are basically talking about how it can impact the psyche of children, the mental stress it puts on children sometimes because of the pandemic, and also the overall impact it has on these three dimensions. This is what this article is talking about. We know that after the pandemic, the entire education has moved online. India as such has not been accustomed to this mode of learning for a very long time, because this is a very recent phenomenon. Until 2016, the penetration of mobile phones and affordable internet has been very low, and only after the entry of Jio, it is believed that it has disrupted the market and made YouTube and other content platforms more accessible to the normal population. So what is the impact here? So the article says that this is the first generation which is actually dealing with artificial intelligence for the first time. Because of the influence of pandemic, even the upper middle class got access to products like Alexa of Amazon. What is this Alexa? It is basically a voice interactive device which responds to the requests raised by our users. So what is the task ahead in this tough times, because it impacts rights, privacy as well as well-being, particularly of the vulnerable group of children. This is the focus of the article. The first problem when we are talking about online education, are we overestimating the penetration of internet? It looks like it, because if you take a look at the International Telecommunication Union survey along with UNICEF, the survey results were pretty shocking, because it said that nearly 2/3 of the entire population across the world and the children across the world, 2/3 of the children across the world do not have access to internet. When you do not have access to internet, the entire debate of online education becomes redundant. So 66% of the population, or the 66% of the children do not have the access to the very basis through which communication is happening for education. So the rest of the crowd is in that segment where parents are working from home and they have certain problems, like they're spending way too much time with artificial intelligence, like social media, Facebook or other platforms, which definitely shape the psyche of a child in the formative years of the childhood. Along with the potential that artificial intelligence hold, it is also raising new security issues. We are talking about vulnerable segment of population, that is children. If you remember, two years ago or 3 years ago, around 2017 2018, there was a dangerous blue whale game which has pushed people, especially the adolescents and younger children, towards suicide as a part of this game. So if children can feel so vulnerable because of an online game, what could be the impact it will have on them? Most of the children right now have spent a significant amount of their year online, and the kind of education that is given to them makes them feel like they are on a vacation, and yet they don't have anything significant to do because they can't go out and play in the playgrounds. Even before the pandemic, this issue of access to green spaces and open places to children has been a problem. So this is an opportunity for us to have a look at what is happening actually in education system, because the kind of education being imparted across the world is simply not addressing the mental aspect of development of children. How many schools in India has access to playgrounds? That is the question being raised. Also in this pandemic, one more important problem that we have to deal with is the vulnerability of adolescents. Because of the penetration of internet and the lockdown situation, a lot of adolescents spend way too much time, and this has actually given an opportunity for child predators, and they are mentally being abused in this entire process. So how do we protect the children is the next question. So in this context, the author argues a very novel concept of right to freedom of attention. If you take a look at the very design of social media, it is designed to keep you hooked. There are constant notifications, the video games give you a temporary high, and along with it, the social media is giving us the menace of fake news. Especially in the formative years, when the kid develops a severe affinity towards an opinion without actually verifying the veracity of the information that is given to him, it is bound to impact him, and it will have long lasting impact on his psyche and mental development as well. Initially, when the opinions are formed, they are way too strong, and it often takes a lot of effort to change them. In this context, how do we give them the required social skills, social values, all those which are really important to develop, especially when you're living in a society like today? You need to have this concept of empathy, because the world out there is suffering. The kids have to understand what we are going through, not the mental trauma associated with it, but the positive aspect of how empathy can be developed by caring for our fellow citizens. So similarly, we have to teach them goodwill. What is the importance of maintaining this goodwill with our fellow citizens? What is the importance of goodwill in every transactions? The social skills are simply missing from the entire curriculum. So what should we do with this? So the problem with AI has been discussed elaborately, but not the opportunities. So what are the opportunities that artificial intelligence offers? One of the major complaints in India is the lack of access to quality educational material. Even today, we are not completely leveraging the artificial intelligence skills, because there is a unique proposition that is associated with artificial intelligence in the way that it can become interactive. If you take a look at certain devices like Alexa, they are so responsive to whatever we ask, and there is an incentive for multinational companies to develop such products. Here is where the government must show some commitment, according to the view of the author, to develop such kind of interactive systems to reach the masses at a very affordable cost. Only the government can take up this initiative. The traditional model of actually recruiting a significant amount of teachers and giving them salaries is a big part of the problem. But the advantage with artificial intelligence is, with a minimal amount of resources itself, we can achieve scale. We can reach out to a wider set of audience, but it doesn't mean that we can completely replace the physical classrooms. So you need to have teachers who would understand and take care of the individual needs of the student. But as long as the pandemic exists, we have to use this as an opportunity, because this is going to last another 1-2 years. So if we have to control this, artificial intelligence should reach the masses. That is what this article is trying to say. There should be a regulatory mechanism which tries to address this algorithmic bias. What is this algorithmic bias? You are completely hooked to the internet quite often because of these algorithms. This should also be regulated, and for this we need a skilled workforce. The government should work towards that as well. So naturally, apart from this right to freedom of attention, which says that the government must take every step to ensure that it doesn't keep the kids hooked to the internet, there should be a check on the algorithms and ensure that they are not designed to trick the mind into a constant state of engagement with the artificial intelligence medium. What is the solution that is being offered? The author says that the first step will obviously be related to the national policy for children. What does this say? It talks about ensuring the rights of child as envisaged in the UN Convention of Rights of Child, which is the most ratified convention in the history of UN. So this policy should also be extended to the digital space, and the rights should be applied in the digital space as well. What does it do? It can enforce certain rules on content creators to avoid this algorithmic bias, according to the view of the author. So that would be a very good first step, and eventually we can respond to the situations as we move forward, according to the view of the author. A huge costly mistake is a article which is criticizing the Ken Betwa project. Let us understand what that project is all about. So you have a news item that appeared in March 2021. March 22nd, 2021, there was an agreement reached between Union and the two states of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. So there was an agreement with respect to linking two rivers, Ken Betwa. So what is the agreement about? What is the Ken Betwa link project? So there is something called the National Perspective Plan for Interlinking of Rivers. So under this project, water from Ken will be transferred to the Betwa basin. Both these rivers are tributaries of river Yamuna. So this can be an important prelims question, and it has been asked in different formats in previous exams also. What is the impact of this particular project? According to the Union Jal Shakti Ministry, that is the Water Resource Ministry, the project is expected to provide annual irrigation to almost 10.62 lakh hectares. So there is a drinking water supply to about 62 lakh people in the deficit Betwa basin. So this is the impact. And also the third impact is it will generate 103 megawatts of hydropower if utilized properly. According to the comprehensive detailed project report, the cost would be around 35,000 crores. But the major problem is with respect to the impact it will show on Panna Tiger Reserve. What is the impact? So, according to a written reply given by the Minister of State for Jal Shakti, there would be 6,000 hectares of forest area coming under submergence of this particular Ken Betwa link project, and this lies entirely within the core tiger habitat of this Panna Tiger Reserve. There were many previous examples of river linking in India, but there are a lot of controversial aspects about this concept of river linking. The first one being it will have severe ecological impact. Second thing is it is very costly. So the article says that the cost benefit ratio of carrying out this project is very poor. So the benefits do not seem to outweigh the costs involved in environment. Whenever we're talking about cost, we have to understand that there are various dimensions to what we know as cost. We only think about the economic impact. So what are the social costs? What are the environmental costs? We have to consider all these dimensions as well. When we are saying environmental cost, what will be the cost to understand the damage incurred by this project on the ecology of that region? What will be the disaster cost if there is any disaster in the region? You have to consider all this in environmental impact assessment. Also, when we're talking about the social impact, are we actually getting the entire benefit that is envisaged as per the original plan? We are not sure about that as well. And even the economic cost of 35,000 crores seems to be pretty high. So we have to go towards normal methods like water conservation, water harvesting, because water conservation as a issue has not been mainstream in this region. This is a very cost effective mechanism and has a huge economic, social, as well as environmental cost, because it requires people of the community to come together. There is a underlying social impact as well. So we have to adopt these sort of simple mechanisms before actually making a transition towards high cost models like this one. That is the gist of this article.